Hello, thank you for joining with me. We are on day 2, reading the text in A Course in Miracles. This is the foundation for inner peace. And if you would like to close your eyes and join me in prayer. Dear Father, if left to my own devices, my perception will be skewed. I surrender to you everything that I think and feel. God, please take my past, plan my future, send your spirit to redeem my mind that I might be set free. May I be your channel, God, and serve the world. May I become who you would have me be, do what you would have me do, go where you would have me go, and say what you would have me say, and to whom. Okay, so I'm going to read lesson 2 today, and we will go ahead and I'm just reading the first paragraph or the title, and then we're going to go ahead and go into a silent meditation. Okay, and I just want to ask in advance that you forgive me for bloopers, because I don't want to make this an arduous project where I have to edit my videos. So you're just going to get me in all my glory and imperfections. So in this world, in this body, look. This is Gertrude, our baby. We have 5 bulldogs. We're crazy. Anyway, having fun. Lesson 2. I have given everything that I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place, all the meaning that it has for me. I have given everything I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place, wherever we are. Anything that we see with our eyes, we have given it all the meaning that it has for me. Okay, and this is a visual exercise. Of course, I'm sure you'll do lesson 2 on your own. I'm just using it as a leeway into our meditation. I have given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. Go ahead and close your eyes. Let's go ahead and inhale for 2 and out for 4. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Now in for 3 and out for 6. And now in for 4. Let's hold it at the top and then out for 8. Sit with your back supported, head and neck free. Let's go ahead and come to our senses. Feel what you feel in your body, any tension. Feel that release. Any aches or pains, just go ahead and connect to that for a moment, even though it's not real. With your eyes closed, see what you see, any light patterns on your eyelids. Go ahead and see what you see. Taste what you taste, maybe toothpaste or coffee or a honey bun. And then go ahead and hear what you hear. What do you hear closest to you, and what do you hear furthest away? And with a big inhale again through your nose, let's go ahead and smell what you smell. We'll do it for a count of 4. Hold it and let out through your mouth if you're able to for a count of 8. And go ahead and release all tension in your body as you do so. So go ahead, let's smell what we smell. Now we will go into a silent meditation. I have given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. I have given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. I have given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. Go ahead and think of everything you're grateful for in this world. For just a minute, think of 3 things. And then let's go ahead and connect to your light, to your heart center. And go ahead and envision the love that you are reaching out first to everyone in the room or in your home. And then in your neighborhood or building, wherever you are. And then see this love and light going out to the block or the countryside, wherever you are. Just see it touching everyone that it comes into contact with as it reaches out further and further, covering the entire town you're in, and then reaching out until it covers the entire state and country. Go ahead and see it reach out until it covers the entire planet. Go ahead and feel that love and that light center wrapping around the planet. A big ball of loving energy. And then when you're ready, let's open our eyes. And we will begin the reading. And if you'd rather close your eyes while I read, that's fine. I wish you could see Gertie in my lap. She's so sweet. I'm surprised. She must have been meditating too. Okay, so we are in the preface. And now we are going to read what it is. As its title implies, the course is arranged throughout as a teaching device. It consists of 3 books, a 669-page text, a 488-page workbook for students, and a 92-page manual for teachers. The order in which the students choose to use the books and the ways in which they study them depend on their particular needs and preferences. The curriculum the course proposes is carefully conceived and is explained step by step at both the theoretical and practical levels. It emphasizes application rather than theory and experience rather than theology, which we know is individual. It specifically states that a universal theology is impossible, but a universal experience is not only possible, but necessary. And that's in the manual, page 77. Although Christian in statement, the course deals with universal spiritual themes. It emphasizes that it is but one version of the universal curriculum. There are many others, this one differing from them only in form. They all lead to God in the end. The text is largely theoretical and sets forth the concepts on which the course's thought system is based. Its ideas contain the foundation for the workbook's lessons. Without the practical application that the workbook provides, the text would remain largely a series of abstractions which would hardly suffice to bring about the thought reversal at which the course aims. The workbook includes 365 lessons, 1 for each day of the year. It is not necessary, however, to do the lessons at that tempo, and one might want to remain with a particularly appealing lesson for more than one day. The instructions urge only that not more than one lesson a day should be attempted. The practical nature of the workbook is underscored by the introduction to its lessons, which emphasizes experience through application rather than a prior commitment to a spiritual goal. Some of the ideas the workbook presents you will find hard to believe, and others may seem to be quite startling. This does not matter. You are merely asked to apply the ideas as you are directed to do. You are not asked to judge them at all. You are asked only to use them. It is their use that will give them meaning to you and will show you that they are true. Remember only this: you need not believe the ideas, you need not accept them, and you need not even welcome them. Some of them you may actively resist. None of this will matter or decrease their efficacy. But do not allow yourself to make exceptions in applying the ideas the workbook contains. And whatever your reactions to the ideas may be, use them. Nothing more than that is required. And that's from the workbook, page 2. Finally, the Manual for Teachers, which is written in question and answer form, provides answers to some of the more likely questions that a student might ask. It also includes clarification of a number of the terms the course uses, explaining them within the theoretical framework of the text. The course makes no claim to finality, nor are the workbook lessons intended to bring the student's learning to completion. At the end, the reader is left in the hands of his or her own internal teacher, who will direct all subsequent learning as he sees fit. While the course is comprehensive in scope, truth cannot be limited to any finite form, as it is clearly recognized in the statement at the end of the workbook. This course is a beginning, not an end. No more specific lessons are assigned, for there is no more need for them. Henceforth, hear but the voice for God. He will direct your efforts, telling you exactly what to do, how to direct your mind, and when to come to Him in silence, asking for His sure direction and His certain word. And that's in the workbook, page 487. And I'm going to go ahead and go forward and read what it says. What it says: nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. This is how A Course in Miracles begins. It makes a fundamental distinction between the real and the unreal, between knowledge and perception. Knowledge is truth under one law, the law of love or God. Truth is unalterable, eternal, and unambiguous. It can be unrecognized, but it cannot be changed. It applies to everything that God created, and only what He created is real. It is beyond learning because it is beyond time and process. It has no opposite, no beginning, and no end. It merely is. The world of perception, on the other hand, is the world of time, of change, of beginnings and endings. It is based on interpretation, not on facts. It is the world of birth and death, founded on the belief in scarcity, loss, separation, and death. It is learned rather than given, selective in its perceptual emphases, unstable in its functioning, and inaccurate in its interpretations. From knowledge and perception, respectively, two distinct thought systems arise which are opposite in every respect. In the realm of knowledge, no thoughts exist apart from God, because God and His creation share one will. The world of perception, however, is made by the belief in opposites and separate wills, in perpetual conflict with each other and with God. What perception sees and hears appears to be real because it permits into awareness only what conforms to the wishes of the perceiver. This leads to a world of illusions, a world which needs constant defense precisely because it is not real. When you have been caught in the world of perception, you are caught in a dream. You cannot escape without help because everything your senses show merely witnesses to the reality of the dream. God has provided the answer, the only way out. The true helper. It is the function of His voice, His Holy Spirit, to mediate between the two worlds. He can do this because while on one hand He knows the truth, on the other He also recognizes our illusions, but without believing in them. It is the Holy Spirit's goal to help us escape from the dream world by teaching us how to reverse our thinking and unlearn our mistakes. Forgiveness is the Holy Spirit's great learning aid in bringing this thought reversal about. However, the Course has its own definition of what forgiveness really is, just as it defines the world in its own way. The world we see merely reflects our own internal frame of reference, the dominant ideas, wishes, and emotions in our minds. Projection makes perception, and that's from the text, page 445. Projection makes perception. We look inside first, decide the kind of world we want to see, and then project that world outside, making it the truth as we see it. We make it true by our interpretations of what it is we are seeing. If we are using perception to justify our own mistakes, our anger, our impulses to attack, our lack of love in whatever form it may take, we will see a world of evil, destruction, malice, envy, and despair. All this we must learn to forgive, not because we are being good and charitable, but because what we are seeing is not true. We have distorted the world by our twisted defenses, and therefore seen what is not there. As we learn to recognize our perceptual errors, we also learn to look past them or forgive. At the same time, we are forgiving ourselves, looking past our distorted self-concepts to the self, capital S, that, capital T, God, created in us and as us. I'm going to repeat that. At the same time, we are forgiving ourselves, looking past our distorted self-concepts to the self that God created in us and as us. Sin is defined as lack of love, and that's in the text, page 11. Since love is all there is, sin in the sight of the Holy Spirit is a mistake to be corrected rather than an evil to be punished. Our sense of inadequacy, weakness, and incompletion comes from the strong investment in the scarcity principle that governs the whole world of illusions. From that point of view, we seek in others what we feel is wanting in ourselves. In fact, is what passes for love. Oh no, I'm sorry, I missed a sentence. We love another in order to get something ourselves. That, in fact, is what passes for love in the dream world. There can be no greater mistake than that, for love is incapable of asking for anything. only our minds can really join, and whom God has joined, no man can put asunder. And that's in the text, page 356. It is, however, only at the level of Christ's mind, and both of those are capitalized, that true union is possible and has in fact never been lost. The little I seeks to enhance itself by external approval, external possessions, and external love. The self that God created needs nothing. It is forever complete, safe, loved, and loving. It seeks to share rather than to get, to extend rather than project. It has no needs and wants to join with others out of their mutual awareness of abundance. The special relationships of the world are destructive, selfish, and childishly egocentric. Yet, if given to the Holy Spirit, these relationships can become the holiest things on earth, the miracles that point the way to the return to heaven. The world uses its special relationships as a final weapon of exclusion and a demonstration of separateness. The Holy Spirit transforms them into perfect lessons in forgiveness and an awakening from the dream. Each one is an opportunity to let perceptions be healed and errors corrected. Each one is another chance to forgive oneself by forgiving the other. And each one becomes still another invitation to the Holy Spirit and to the remembrance of God. Perception is a function of the body and therefore represents a limit on awareness. Perception sees through the body's eyes and hears through the body's ears. It evokes the limited responses which the body makes. The body appears to be largely self-motivated and independent, yet it actually responds only to the intentions of the mind. If the mind wants to use it for attack in any form, it becomes prey to sickness, age, and decay. If the mind accepts the Holy Spirit's purpose for it instead, it becomes a useful way of communicating with others, invulnerable as long as it is needed, and to be gently laid by when its use is over. Of itself, it is neutral, as is everything in the world of perception. Whether it is used for the goals of the ego or the Holy Spirit depends entirely on what the mind wants. The opposite of seeing through the body's eyes is the vision of Christ, which reflects strength rather than weakness, unity rather than separation, and love rather than fear. The opposite of hearing through the body's ears is communication through the voice for God, the Holy Spirit, which abides in each of us. His voice seems distant and difficult to hear because the ego, which speaks for the little separated self, seems to be much louder. This is actually reversed. The Holy Spirit speaks with unmistakable clarity and overwhelming appeal. No one who does not choose to identify with the body could possibly be deaf to his messages of release and hope, nor could he fail to accept joyously the vision of Christ in glad exchange for his miserable picture of himself. Christ's vision is the Holy Spirit's gift, God's alternative to the illusion of separation and to the belief in the reality of sin, guilt, and death. It is the one correction for all errors of perception, the reconciliation of the seeming opposites on which the world is based. Its kindly light shows all things from another point of view, reflecting the thought system that arises from knowledge and making return to God not only possible, but inevitable. What was regarded as injustices done to one by someone else now becomes a call for help and for union. Sin, sickness, and attack are seen as misperceptions calling for remedy through gentleness and love. Defenses are laid down because where there is no attack, there is no need for them. Our brothers' needs become our own because they are taking the journey with us as we go to God. Without us, they would lose their way. Without them, we would never find our own. Forgiveness is unknown in heaven, where the need for it would be inconceivable. However, in this world, forgiveness is a necessary correction for all the mistakes that we have made. To offer forgiveness is the only way for us to have it, for it reflects the law of heaven that giving and receiving are the same. Heaven is the natural state of all the sons of God as He created them. Such is their reality forever. It is not changed because it has been forgotten. Forgiveness is the means by which we will remember. Through forgiveness, the thinking of the world is reversed. The forgiven world becomes the gate of heaven because by its mercy we can at last forgive ourselves. Holding no one prisoner to guilt, we become free. Acknowledging Christ in all of our brothers, we recognize His presence in ourselves. Forgetting all our misperceptions and with nothing from the past to hold us back, we can remember God. Beyond this, learning cannot go. When we are ready, God Himself will take the final step in our return to Him. So, isn't that beautiful? I don't think there's anything we need to stress or worry about. With all this being said, it seems like a lot, probably, especially if you're new to A Course in Miracles, and I just ask you to buckle up and go for the ride. Don't try to analyze it. Don't try to pick it apart. Just buckle up. Take it a day at a time. More will be revealed. It is to me every day when I'm in this book, and I've been in it for almost 13 years. So, I love you. Thank you for joining with me. Have a most beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow. I love you.